name is Zero Jake and welcome back to Space Engineers. Now, you may notice that the moon looks a bit different than before. If you haven't, I'll give you a few minutes. Hey, guess what? The moon is different from before. Now, the reason is, what I've done is I've copy and pasted everything that was in the old world, I'll get to that in a bit, to the new world. The reason why I've gone to a new world is because this new world is in a stable version. I've basically downgraded the world, but you can't do that, so instead I moved everything from the dev version, which is the one that I've been using in previous episodes, to a stable version world. Everything's essentially the same, just that I can use teleporters and I can use nanite factories. Guess what we're going to be using today, because nanite factories help with construction and we really desperately need that. We've brought along the Surveyor over here, Surveyor Mark III. That's the first ship that I spawned in since I spawned on the planet. And so I needed a ship to get out of there and jump to the moon. Yeah. The Earth is, well, the planet is a bit far away. We've also got Mars planet and Alien planet somewhere. I don't know where that one is. I've also brought along the Salvager, Prospector Mark II, two Prospector Mark Is. I've copied in an additional ship here, an additional Constructor Mark II, and we've got the Projector. Now, the reason why I've copied in another Constructor Mark II is because we've had a very, very unfortunate incident with most of our cargo disappearing. I'll show you in a second. So, no, it's this way, you fool. No, it's not. Where's the hole? Where's the hole that allows me to enter? Oh, it's over here. Yeah. What I was saying. Yes. Basically, we've lost a lot of our stuff from the cargo area. As you can see, I'm working on getting some more assemblers online for something that will help with the nanite factory. We've got 5 now. I want this one to be the one where I might Advanced Assembler 6, hence why it's highlighted, to be the one that we go into, because when we activate the production tab, it defaults to Assembler 6. And that's going to be the main one, and then others are going to be dedicated to certain materials and they're going to keep it stocked, and the rest of them are going to be used for when I need a lot of stuff very quickly. We're still on one refinery. We have... No? Yes. 10 minutes ago, so I don't have anything set up. Which also means I've lost my tools, but I'll get those back later. Character tools, blowtorch, and welder. These are still using the newer textures. Yeah, so we've also got effectiveness modules here on the refinery. Basically means that it's more efficient. Still got one cargo container. However, as you can see, we've lost quite a lot. And what I mean by quite a lot is my 2 million iron ingots, which is the one that hurts the most. We've also lost all of our gold, all of our silicon, platinum, all these silver, all of these things, they're all gone. Which means I only have to have these materials here, one computer, my god, and the ores over here. So I've got some nickel, magnesium, platinum and cobalt. Cobalt will be fine. There's quite a lot of it. Oh, and if I show you the reactor, we got 2.4 thousand uranium. And also, I believe, we'll have to test it later, but I think my auto-sorting is now working, because I went to a stable version. Hopefully that's the case, because that would be, oh my god, so good. Right, so I'm going to go off on a mining trip so that I can get some resources. Any resources that I can find, and I'll be back in a second to start work on the project of today's episode. Okay, so it's been like 2 hours since I last actually spoke. So what I've done is I've welded 2 more cargo containers. As you can see, the sorting system is working. I'll go into detail on that later. You can look at the beginning of the series, well, near the beginning of the series, to see how that entire thing works. But basically this means the ingots are in this area for now, ores are here, and components are here, which means this will contain only components and anything else I throw in it. I've also set up all the oxygen generators, so that's the one on the station and the one on Surveyor. That will have 1000 ice in at all times. In here we've got the reactor, which have priority 1 on uranium. And I've also upped the speed at which the refineries and assemblers will build things in the world menu, because that's how it was to begin with. So if we have a look at the refinery, we've got quite a lot of ores to go through, and if we have a look at our ores chest, we also have quite a lot of ores to go through. We've got some tritium and neutronium, which we might use later. But that will be good for now. Okay, so we're going to create the Nanite control factory. Now what this thing does is it builds for you. It sends these nanite things out. They're kind of incorporeal. I don't know which one it is, but it's one of those. They basically go through blocks and they take components to it and then weld and then get more components from the factory, and again and again and again. They have various other things that they can do, such as repairing, deconstructing, things like that. But for now we're just going to use them to construct the rest of the station that isn't constructed. This is basically the things that require a lot of materials, which I won't be able to carry all in one go, or will be too complex an area to get to be able to use the welder. So we're going to need to actually tilt this the right way around. I'm going to need some interior plate. It's quite expensive, which is why it's been 2 hours since I actually you know, spoke, but that's fine. Right, so I need 700 interior plate to get this started. Once we've got one of these, and if we want to build more, then this nanite factory that we're placing down will also help build the others. We just need to connect it to the conveyor network, hence why I'm placing it in this area. Just need to make sure there's right alignment. The correct alignment, rather. This should be good. Right. Just double check. Yes, so basically we have a pipe going down here. That's 3 blocks, that's fine. In the center you see this ball thing. I don't know what that's supposed to be. But now it's just going to be a matter of a lot of construction. So I need 400 construction components and 150 metal grid. I basically had to wait for hours. Well, no I didn't. I had to go mining for a lot of the resources that are needed in this construction. So the things that we can now do in stable build, which is the build that I'm currently using, include the following. We can use teleporters, so that's going to be useful. It means we can actually get this damn thing working. We can also, I think, and use the nanites. Those are the things I remember. The auto sorting system will now work because it only works in stable. That's also good. And I think there's a couple of other things. The script that I was using to check inventory, we're going to be using that. Because the main way we're going to be constructing things now is through the Nanite control factory, instead of welding it by hand, which is a godsend. Right, let me just pick up the rest of these components. I did overbuild some components because I wanted to build them in 100 chunks. Well, that's fine. We just need steel, large steel tube, computer display, power cell, and gravity components. That's fine. So we're getting that. These are heavy. Yes, they are. 18 a try. That's going to take quite a while to place down. In fact, I might want to temporarily take this out. Yeah. Take this out and then get the oh, I don't right, this is a new world, so I don't have any of my stuff. Let me get the conveyor, shall I? That's odd. Never mind, I thought there was other things around. I'll just temporarily put it here so that I don't accidentally use the resources. Not like I'm going to, because I'm not that kind of person. But now we can access the station, which is very useful. Well, access the cargo containers of the station. I'll be back in a second once I have obtained all the resources and welded this thing together. Okay, right, I have all the materials and last bit. Quite a lot of welding. This is the most expensive block that has ever been placed in this world. Well, in any of my worlds. So this is the nanite thing. It looks interesting. If I walk in there I die, by the way. Just saying. I don't want to do that. I probably will at some point. And they're busy working. I don't know how they're actually getting resources because there aren't any resources in here. They're coming back green, which means they are getting resources. Maybe. So those guys are going over to somewhere. Okay, right. So let's get it hooked up, shall we? So we need to bring down the conveyor. Oh, it's probably repairing actually, which is fine. Get the conveyor sorted, and then we just need a few things to get everything else working. So let's get conveyor tube and conveyor curved tube. So basically the only thing that's changed in terms of the entire thing is there's no scrolly thing. So if I try to get armor block, you can't scroll through them. You can't scroll through them to access different ones, and you can't place in the middle of the area. I'm guessing that's fine for now. Let me just adjust microphone for a second. Okay, so we need steel, construction component, small steel tube, and motor. So let's get some steel. Let's throw the power cells back. We don't need them. Let's get some construction components. And then some motors and some small steel tube. We don't have any of those. Let's get some 14, no, 15 is my main one for now. Let's get like a sufficient amount of small steel tube. And that should automatically pile into here. That's what I have missed this entire time. Okay, and then the next thing is we just need to have them go around and them to behave when they're building, and then we can just weld these up. And hey presto, the nanite factory is now connected to the conveyor network. Let's check our components. Are they draining? Because if they are, then that is a good thing. Temporarily, but that's good. So, Mr. Conveyor, Mr. whatever your face is called, you should be working on things. Face sun. Face this block towards the sun. Does it need to? Right, deconstruction, no. Mining, no. Medical, no. Cleanup, no. Projection, construction, we don't have any. Repair / construction. Max number of nanites, infinite, and then we have this thing called use assemblers. I'll show that in a second. I just need to check that this thing is actually pulling from inventories. Because if it is, that's good. It doesn't seem to be. Possibly because it's not detecting any blocks that need, you know, welding. I want to see where they're going. Okay, right. So I'm going to we're going to check around the base to see what they're actually welding. They might actually weld these armor blocks, which is fine. You guys seem to be going this way. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so they are definitely doing something. I don't know what though. It seems they're going into like the, I can't even remember the directions of, you know, anything, but they seem to be doing the hangars or something close to the hangars. Might be the things here. So they're going around there. Okay. Where are you going? Ooh. No, those construction components were there anyway, weren't they? Well, I don't think we have any metal grid or bulletproof glass available, so that might be it. They might be just using my things. It's very weird because I don't know what's actually being welded, or if anything is being welded whatsoever. Keep an eye on our inventory, see if anything changes, because that would be the best thing. Or are they using ingots to do things? No, ingot value's going up, which is the refinery. This is weird. If only I would highlight the area that it's actually currently welding. Might be a very good idea. Right, let's go back inside, because I've got the workshop page on my right, which will tell me the different states and everything else. So the green, when it's coming back, means it's doing things. So it's done its thing. So green coming back, it's done its thing. I don't know why they're moving slowly. They should be speeding up. There we go. So if the factory is red, then it's disabled. Green, enabled and no targets. Pulsing green has potential targets but can't convert them to actual targets because another factory is targeting them. Pulsing yellow, the factory is missing power. We're not missing power, we're doing fine. In fact, I probably want to check our power usage right now. Get away from the thing before you kill yourself, man. Right, reactor. Station reactor, you are currently outputting about 20 megawatts. Plenty of power reserve there. Pulsing magenta, it's not. Which would be the factory is missing parts. It's not pulsing though. And blue, that's not blue. That looks like magenta. It might be blue, but who knows? Means that it's performing a task, which it might be. I think we could access the control panel to see what it's doing. Possible construction targets. It's currently doing 3 things because it's got 3 things that it can do at a time. Using 26 megawatts. Minimum travel time. Travel speed. So we can actually upgrade this to make it go faster if we want. Current power required 78 megawatts. Active. And there are 66 nanites. Okay, so one thing that we want to do is we want to have use assemblers. Now, what use assemblers means is it will use all assemblers marked, which I'll show you how that happens, to build things. So build components that it needs to do things, which is very helpful. So we're going to use that. And then we're going to go over to assemblers. So if I show hidden blocks and go assembler, if only I could get rid of the... Oh no, it's incomplete. Those will be completed over time. So we're going to use assembler 28, 27 and 28, and they are going to be queued for construction of components. If we go over there, are they constructing anything? No. Okay. So it means that they're still using stuff from here. It doesn't seem like anything's gone. If it has, I won't be able to tell because this isn't post processing, then please tell me. It will be very useful. I think it's just doing things. Well, we can let that do its thing, or we can help it move along. So there's constructor there are upgrades for things, deconstructor, projection, cleanup, mining, power reduction, speed, medical. So constructor upgrades, I believe, will increase the amount of amount of items can be constructed at a point, well, at a time, which is useful. And speed will increase the speed at which the nanites travel. Power reduction will reduce the power requirement, but I don't think we need that right now. So if we get this nanite constructor, it's a bit expensive, but I think we have the components because I did a bit too many. And these upgrade modules go on these areas, so that's useful. I need 120 interior plate to place this. Okay, let's do that then. So I need 120. And in fact, I think I can access the inventory from here. Yes, good. That's useful. So let me have it go the right way up. So we need 40 construction component and 20 small, 10 large. So 40, 20, 10. No, not 1 minus 0. It's this. And then we need 5 motors, 5 gravity generator components. So 5 motors. And then 5 gravity generator components, which are pretty heavy, by the way. They take ages. And then we need 25 power cells, 50 superconductors. So power cells, 25, and then 50 superconductors, 40 computer, 40 steel plate. All good. So 40 and 40. And that should be the nanite projector upgrade, which means it should have more streams going out, which means it will use more energy. Let's check. Go to the control panel, which is over here. And what are you currently going? Still 26, 60 active nanites. Let's have a look at construction. Maximum construction teams are 6. There is currently 1 construction target. There are 1,500 available because there's a lot of blocks in here that aren't constructed. Yeah, it just needs to do its thing. I'll leave it running, see what it gets up to. Let's check the inventory. Yes! It's actually working. No. We use those to... I'm an idiot. For a second there I thought it was actually draining components, and no. Because that was me draining components. So, I'll leave this running, and I'll try and get some more facilities of the station online. I'm looking at you, Mr. Refinery, and the rest of the assemblers along this top wall, so that we can actually access this one. And then we will work on something, either more nanites or something else next episode. Until then, my name has been Zero Jake. End transmission.